Hey everybody, welcome back to some more live coding. Hey NoPixel, you're nice and early. So today we're going to look at Stripe. Stripe is an online payment processor who claims to have the industry-leading documentation. And as I've been reading through it, I have to agree. Last night, we looked at Braintree. Now, Braintree is supposed to be PayPal's answer to having a really bad API. Braintree is supposed to be the way you can accept PayPal, but with a good API. And as we went through it, I have to say I was left pretty disappointed with the lack of documentation on certain things, the code examples not working very well, and a bunch of other problems. But the Stripe stuff is looking really promising. So I've tried PayPal, I've tried Braintree, and Stripe is looking like the best option, and it comes very highly recommended too. So the agenda for today is to figure out how to set up and get a test account going, how to test just direct single payments, how to test subscriptions, and how their webhooks work. And then we'll check out what kind of third-party integrations and other things they have. So let's get started. I guess we can check out their homepage real quick. They do claim that, they say developers first, and they really do. They have these really nice examples. They even have one that you can run right in the browser. You hit run, and then you get, as it's processing right now, see it says running, and it'll pop up the results whenever it's done. It's probably running some cloud function, and it's probably booting up the Docker image or something. Hit it again. Okay, there it is. So you can see this is an example of the response that you get. Now they also have a tab over here. You can see customers, how to create customers, how to do subscriptions, and it all looks very, very straightforward. And yeah, they have a lot of high-profile customers and stuff too. So basically, all I've done so far is create an account. And when you create an account, it automatically puts you into test mode. They only provide you a test API key, and you cannot even go live until you get your live API keys, and you have to activate your account to do that. So they automatically put you right into the sandbox, and you get started with your test API key. And right here, this is the landing page for landing dashboard when you log in. And this isn't like it's not a completely separate website like PayPal where you have sandbox.paypal.com. It looks like it's all the same website. It's all just about whether you're using your test key or not. And so you can get your test keys here, and it kind of walks you through what you need to do. So first, get your test API keys. I already did this. And then you you can either do direct payments, create a platform, process payments, or pay out third parties. Yeah, I don't need to do the connect. And then the other option here is recurring business, and that's the subscriptions. And then you activate your account. That's the last step, and I'm not going to worry about that. But we're going to try out these two, where we do direct payments and subscriptions. So over here on the left is the menu, and we've got the payments and the billing, and those correspond to the one-time payments and the subscriptions. The subscriptions fall under the billing category. And so if you click on billing, I guess let's start with just the regular payments. And for this, let's go over to their documentation. And let's see, do they have some kind of quick start? Yeah, here we go, getting started. So we just get payments, accept payments, Yeah, web, mobile, 135 plus currencies. Oh yeah, you can do ACH debit, so you can do direct bank account payment. And Google Pay. Now I don't think they support any cryptocurrency. Yeah, I don't see anything about that. I thought for a while Braintree did accept through Coinbase, but I'm not sure if they do anymore because I couldn't find anything about that recently. Only old stuff. And okay, so this is the payment. This is the payment method page. So this was just a quick look at what they offer. Alipay. Excuse me for all the throat clears. Okay, so accept payment we want to do on our website. Card payments, quick start. Okay, accepting card payments is a two-step process with a client side and a server side action. No problem. From your website, running in the customer's browser, Stripe securely collects your customer's payment information and returns a representative token. This, along with any other form data, is then submitted by the browser to your server. So you're basically going to get the token that the user gets from Stripe, and then you're going to send it to Stripe and say, hey Stripe, they gave me this token. Is it valid? And Stripe's going to go, oh yep, they totally paid us $10. You're good to go. Using the token, your server code makes an API request to create a charge and complete the payment. Oh, so it's a little different than I thought. The token doesn't complete the payment yet. The token just says the user has authorized this payment. You gotta complete the payment yourself then. Tokenization ensures that no sensitive card data ever needs to touch your server. This keeps you PCI compliant, which saves you a huge deal of compliance, and it just saves you a ton of headache. Yeah, card details are never fully revealed, so you don't ever see the customer's card details, which is good. Although Stripe's dashboard and API do provide limited information. Okay, learn how to obtain your API keys and install an API library with our development quick start. That's what I want. And so, in this case, there's a drop-in form. This is kind of like the PayPal Buy Now button. Yeah, here we go. So you see, this is what they would get if you just dropped in the Buy Now button. They basically get this, and then you get the Pay button down here. They drop in their information, and they send this over to Stripe. They send it directly to Stripe from the JavaScript that you loaded here, and you actually have to load their Stripe JavaScript. You know, you have to include where it says here, script source equals checkout.stripe.com. You have to load the JavaScript from their site. That's a PCI requirement. So you just load their JS and it kind of does all the work. Yeah, Stripe.js and elements. So it looks like they provide a couple of elements that you can use to get started. Like this one we saw the plain drop-in. It looks like they have a whole handful of these things. Okay, so once the customer does that, they'd send back the token, and then we would have to complete the payment. We would take their token from the form, and then we would just call Stripe and say, hey, yep, I want you to charge this, and I want you to tag on this metadata for me, you know, attach the user name to it or something, I don't know. Okay, tokens can only be used once and within a few minutes of creation. Okay, so that's interesting. So if we wait too long and we use it, it'll fail. We'll have to represent the user. Okay, so that looks good. Let's check out this development quick start. Okay, we got the API keys. Install a library and make a test API request. So install an API library. Okay, looks like they officially support Ruby, Python, PHP, Java, Node, Go, .NET, and iOS, somewhere in there. We're gonna go with the Python one. So let's make a directory. We'll just call it Stripe Test. And let's go ahead and create a new virtual environment. Python 3-m vn source vn activate, and then we'll do a pip install Stripe. Alright, that's all we needed. It looks like it installed, yeah, requests. That's about it. Requests. And the other are just dependencies for requests. So, Stripe and requests. That's pretty much all you need for this to work. Okay, make a test. Make a test API request. To check that your integration is working correctly, make a test API request using your test secret key to create a charge. Okay. Why don't we do that? Let's try test.py and drop that in. Except my secret key is, it's in a file. So I want to open, what is it, Stripe private key as f.read, and that's going to be my private key. Let's see, delete to the end of the line, then add our private key. Okay, so now let's try and run this. It should create a charge. I guess we can just say python test.py. No such file. Oh, I probably called it secret key. Yeah. Let's see. Stripe secret key. Alright, let's try it out. Oh. Name Stripe is not defined? I guess I did not. I guess it expects me to do the import Stripe. Okay. Invalid header value. Oh no. My secret key, darn. Well, at least you can rotate your keys. I know you can do that because I checked. And there should not be a new line in my file, but we might as well strip it anyway then. Alright, I guess it ran. Now let's check our dashboard and see if our payment came through. Refresh. Is it here? There it is! Success! We just accepted a, well, kinda. We created a payment, but the user didn't enter any information. So we actually need to get the token, and I guess the token would go there under source. It's interesting they call it source. But okay, so you need to get the token from the user, but if you're just testing, they have some tokens you can use that represent a token that you would get from a user. Spudley says, Stripe is nice, I've used it for fundraising before. Really? I'd be interested to hear more. You should tell me more about your project and what you did with it. I've never heard anybody complain about Stripe. I've only heard good things, and everybody basically says it's the best. The only downside is that it doesn't accept PayPal, which is a shame, but I think I'd be willing to trade that off if it really is that much nicer to use, and we'll find out. Is this meant to be used with Django? So, if you mean specifically in my code that I'm going to be working on today, I think so, yes. I think I'm going to use Django, because I have a Django instance set up already. Well, close enough, yeah, I should, from a previous night of streaming. So I've already got a user system and everything, and we can test it there. But right now I'm just kind of exploring. But yeah, we'll see. This is the agenda for today, so basically getting the test API keys and testing a single payment. So getting the single payment, we looked at how you drop in that form. Wherever, excuse me, that form was up top. I guess it was on the other page. But that's how you would present the user with the form, and they'd get it back and you'd send it here. So I would like to test that part too. Stripe returns a charge object. Oh yeah, I guess we should look at what it's returning. So let's do pretty print the charge, and take a look at it again. There we go. Okay, so it's a pretty decent sized bit of information. So the amount, I guess that's in pennies. Amount refunded application. Description, I guess we could have filled that out. Failure code, none, those are good. The ID. Outcome, approved. Payment complete. Paid, true. Receipt email, receipt number, receipt URL. Oh, interesting. I guess that's where we could send the user. That's cool. So you get a receipt URL that you can present to the user, or even open up in an iframe, or opening up a new window, or whatever. Or just link it to them, email it to them. You should email it to them, that'd be a good idea. Okay, so that's it. Next steps. Yeah, so card payments. I thought that's what we already did. Anyway, we'll pop open a couple of these, work through them. So I thought we just did the card payments. Is that not what we did? Yeah, here's the form. So I want to try this out now. We're just going to pop it into an HTML page. Oh yeah, look at that formatting. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. And then I'm going to press Control-Shift-I. Wait, what? It doesn't know how to format HTML files? I have to install a third-party module to format HTML. Is that too hard for Visual Studio Code? Okay, whatever. Thank you, Rifky29 or whatever, whoever you were that built this plugin. Okay. So yeah, here's where we would post it. And this would basically be like pay/pay, whatever, on your server. Yeah, there's the source that you have to pull from their site. NoPixel says, oh, I remember you making the premium feature in the Django stream. I don't think I actually made a premium feature. I forget what I do. I did several on Django. I did spend some good time doing the authentication and how to do the social auth with OAuth 2. But yeah, the end goal is to tie together Django with Django REST framework with Django AllAuth, the social OAuth, with Stripe. And then a front end. Maybe Angular, maybe React. Spudley says, it was for a class project. I was trying to find the exact rates, but I know their transaction fee was like half as much as any other. The only downside I could find was their money transfer times take a little longer than PayPal. Okay. Well, that's cool. There was is premium. Oh, NullPixel, yeah, that's starting to ring a bell. Yeah, is premium account boolean on the user. We could have actually gotten the rates even lower, but the nonprofit wouldn't sign up for it. Gotcha. Yeah, so this is what you would do on the front end with the... Let's see, let me break this down even more. Let's make this a little bit more readable. Okay. Oh, no! Formatter? I don't like the way you formatted that. Okay. So the data key, I guess this is our public key. This is supposed to be our public key. And then description, data image, okay. And then the price. Okay, so that's all you would have to do on the front end. And then on the back end, you would basically have a function that is like this. It would be like, if you're using Flask, it would be like route/pay to this. And then it would look pretty much like that. And then this would actually come from, pull from the form. And then that would be, I guess, your user's email. So that's, okay, that's actually really straightforward. All you do here is say like, oh hey, they, let's check out their shopping cart. You know, they had 100 items in their shopping cart. Okay, let's present them with this form, and as we fill it out, let's put in the number, and then let's put in, like, you know, their description of whatever it is. And then all the rest of the action happens between Stripe and the client. All of that happens to them, and then when it's done, it automatically sends. It said whatever other form data you had too. So if you had like other form data, whatever, type equals hidden, right? Type equals hidden, name equals extra, and then value equals, you know, my extra data. Spudley, yes, this is Python 3. So that's actually really nice. With Braintree, you had to have this whole extra step where the user would submit to your server and get a token that they would then send to Braintree, and then this process would repeat here. But because the user is going straight to Stripe, that really saves you a lot of headache. And actually, when you're building your front end, that makes it a lot cleaner and easier to implement. And like, if you have like an Angular front end totally disconnected from your back end, this is nice because it doesn't even need the user, and you could even mock out that back end pretty easily. Okay, so payments are good. Now how about subscriptions? I imagine it's not really going to be much different. So let's check out, they have a billing section. And that, oh, they also have metered billing, which looked very, very interesting and useful. So metered billing, you can think of that as how DigitalOcean bills you at the end of the month for all your usage. You know, if you used a virtual machine for 8 hours on this day, 12 hours there, and 1 for the whole 30 days, they add it all up and they charge you at the end of the month. And you can meter the billing, and basically, I was reading this page earlier, and you can either set it directly. Every once in a while you call Stripe and you just say, hey, Stripe increment. Here it is. You say usage record, create an increment. And so you basically say, hey Stripe, they used another unit. Whether that's like, hey, they used another hour, you just send them an increment and Stripe accumulates it and increments it. You can also do set, so you can just like arbitrarily set it to a value. So that's pretty cool, and then it automatically handles the billing and aggregating the billing, sending it to them, and rolling over to a new month. All you do is send them, hey, increment. So that's a pretty cool feature that they have there on the subscription. So billing, quickstart. Learn how to set up basic recurring billing for your customers. Stripe Billing is a recurring billing engine integrated within the Stripe platform. Its job is to generate invoices. The billing engine then automatically works toward collecting payments on those invoices. I'm going to open this invoices page and check it out because, yeah, okay, payment collection. You can collect payment on invoices in 2 ways. Charging them automatically to the payment method on file, or sending them via email. So when they create the subscription, it should store their payment method and charge them automatically. But I'm guessing it will still generate the invoice and send it to them and be like, hey, here's your monthly bill for this site. You were charged $43 this month. Here's your invoice. We've automatically charged your account since we have it on file. And we don't have it on file. Stripe has it on file, technically. Okay, but no, we don't want to do invoices. We want to look at, here, subscriptions. Billing your customers is easy with Stripe. You can invoice a customer when needed, or invoice on a recurring basis. So invoices, that's cool that you can just do one-off invoices through the API. That looks pretty nice. But I'd be more interested in, these subscriptions. To automatically invoice and bill, follow these 3 steps. Define a product pricing plan, create a customer account, and then subscribe the customer to the account. Dark Coder says, hey Dark Coder, welcome back. It's always good to see some familiar faces. You guys make the streams definitely more enjoyable. The rest of the quick start goes through the subscription steps in detail. Okay, so let's see. I opened the 3 tabs, and I've got too many tabs open right now, so okay, let's close some of these tabs. I popped these open earlier, never looked at them. So there was this random page with Stripe.js and Elements. Now this looks like, it's a JavaScript library that has a bunch of useful pay now buttons and forms. Like here's a nice form, here's another form, here's more form examples, and they even have some React elements. Okay, so that's cool. They offer lots of forms to help us integrate, which is going to be good, but I'm not too interested in that right now. Billing Quick Start. Okay, that's the page I'm already on, so I'm going to close that. Development Quick Start, we already looked at that. And we already looked at this page too, and that one, and that one. Now over here, these are the exact same page. We'll close one of them. We don't need the dashboard. Okay, these are the 3 steps. These are the 3 steps that it said we needed to do. Step 1, define a service product plan. Okay, let's go do that. So let's go to our dashboard, actually, and we need to go create a subscription plan. So let's go to billing, subscriptions, and let's make a new one. No, hold on a second. You must first create the product that represents the service. So first we need to go under, which section is it? There are 2 kinds of products, goods and services. Oh, so you can create the product. You create the product over the API too. But I'm wondering if there is a way to... There should be a way to create it on the dashboard up here too, right? Let's say billing. Oh, there it is. Products. Billing products. Here it is. Create a product. And this is going to be, we'll call it a premium VIP subscription. The unit label. This will represent a unit of this product, such as a seat or API call on checkout, customers' receipts and invoices. This will reserve a unit. Oh, unit label. A subscription? We'll call it a super sub. Is that like, it's a super subscription. You purchased 1 super subscription. I think that's what it means. Super sub. I'm not really sure what the unit label is. We'll try and figure that out. Statement descriptor. This will appear on the customer's bank statement. Okay, we'll call it Dev Dungeon VIP. It's probably too long. Add a pricing plan. Plan nickname. This won't be visible to customers, but will help you find this plan. We'll just call it VIP monthly sub. ID optional. sure. They recommend leaving it blank, but that's fine. Go ahead. So, okay, we can just choose metered. Let's see, if it goes metered, oh, there's different aggregate modes, so you can basically sum up usage during the period, which is probably the most straightforward and common. The maximum value of usage. Value of last usage record. Yeah, I think the most common for most people is just going to be sum it up. Does this pricing plan have multiple tiers based on the quantity? Oh, so you can say like, oh, if they bought 100, or if they used 100, then give them a price. Oh yeah, there's our unit. Price per super sub. You can buy 1,000 super subs. Okay, does this plan? No, it doesn't. Price per unit? $2. Billing interval? Daily? Interesting. Weekly, monthly, yearly. Okay. That's interesting you can do daily. I'm not sure if I'd ever have a use case for that. Trial period? Sure, we'll do a trial period. Okay, preview. A customer who uses 1 unit will be billed $2 at the beginning of each month. Okay. Okay, so there's our product, and there's our product ID, and all the goods to go along with it. Okay, so we did step 1, define our service and product, and it looks like we could have done it through the API too, but that's okay. I don't need to create them dynamically. When creating a product through the API, the response includes the ID, which you can attach plans to the product. A plan is an object that represents a per item cost, currency, and billing cycle. Every plan is attached to a product. You may need to define just one plan or several hundred, depending on how many variations you offer. For example, if you accept different currencies in various regions, you might want to create separate plans, I guess, so you can have like a nice round number. So, okay, this is our product, and that's our basic pricing plan. Okay, we'll call this the yearly. Okay, I see. So now we can say like, this is gonna be $10 for the whole year. Got it. 2 pricing plans. Okay. I see. So you can have the one product and have a bunch of different plans. And here we go. Pricing plans are down here. Oh, wait a second. I didn't want this one to be metered. Can I edit this pricing plan? Oh no. Oh, one thing I did like about Stripe was that they allow you to add all the metadata you want to your stuff. Like in PayPal, they give you one field. They give you one field called custom to put everything you want, and you have to like shove all your JSON in there or whatever you want to do. But Stripe is like, oh, metadata? Yeah, we know that's really common. We know that's a very basic need. We let you do it. So let's see, yeah. I guess. Yeah, I didn't mean for this one to be metered, but that's okay. That is good to see. So now we got, hey, Eduardo's back. And so is Mythic. Hey guys. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. We're looking at Stripe. It is Stripe Saturday. Stripe Saturday subscription, Super Saturday subscription, Stripe Saturday. Alright. So step 2, create a customer. Okay. Customers are Stripe objects that represent your actual customer. Oh, Eduardo, you're in Brazil? Very cool. Providing an easy way to process their payments. Typically, you might also store metadata, such as email addresses or your user ID for the user on the customer object. You can create a customer with or without a stored payment method, such as a credit card or a bank account, to allow for subsequent billing. Brazil, hello from Texas, Mythic says. I'm also in Texas. I live down near the Gulf Coast. As the SaaS platform... Wait a second. Oh, this is, I guess, the example. You can securely collect a customer's payment information via checkout, Elements, or Stripe iOS and Android ones. Okay, so let's check out those real quick. Checkout, I think, is just the drop-in forms. Yeah, the checkout is just the drop-in form, just like we saw at the beginning. The only difference, I think, is that you're going to be filling out... well, let's see for a second. You can collect the payment info via checkout, Elements, or the iOS one. Okay, so this... Excuse me, I need some water. Okay, so it looks like this is the Stripe iOS payment options that you can use. So it looks like they have some native widgets. Okay. Android integration, I guess the same kind of thing. Okay, so they've got something up on Maven Central that you can pull. Yeah, okay, they've got a couple... Yeah, widgets. Here's one, card input widget. Okay, cool. You just pop up the widget, kind of like dropping in the JavaScript on the web page. And I guess after they fill out that form on the Android, then it calls your same callback. So your backend would work exactly the same. You're just listening for the token and the info. Okay. I really like this. Okay, so we have to create the user. Now, hold on a second. I gotta figure out how we create this user. I guess we can create the user ourselves, but it wouldn't have any payment information. We need the user to create their own user, because they need to store the payment information on Stripe. Oh, wait, I think I know how this works. So they're gonna hit the form and send it to Stripe. Stripe is gonna say, okay, we've got this token and this payment. And then we're gonna go, okay, hey, thanks for that payment info, but first, create a user for me with this user ID and this, this email. Okay, now we've got that. Then we can attach this token with the payment info to that user. Got it. I think that's how it's going to work. Eduardo asked if I program Android too, and yes. I have a couple videos on Android. I've done React Native, making an Android app with the Django backend. I've done React Native. I've done Python Kivy to make Android apps. I've done Java FX using Gluon to make an Android app. I've done, what else is there? Cordova and native Java, native Kotlin. So, oh, and I've done Qt C++ apps, Qt C++ to make Android apps. I've got a few tutorials out there and videos. but I like to dabble, and I've made an Android Watch app and an Android TV app and stuff, but they're usually trivial. Okay, anyway, so checkout reference. Yeah, so this is basically telling us how we can drop in the forms. Integrating checkout, yeah, we just drop in pay with card button. Yeah, this is what we saw earlier. Okay, so this is where we can save all the user info. We can have the user pass their information in the form to Stripe. Got it. Or rather, I guess... No, we actually made the form. Yeah, we make the form, and we can put whatever elements in there we want. So in this case, I guess we would say input type equals text, and the name would then be whatever these fields they gave us up here were, like billing address line 1, and then we'd ask the user like, hey, what enter your billing address for us, and it never goes to us. It only goes to Stripe. But if we pass these values to them, then they can store that with the payment information in the token. Eduardo says native Android is kind of hard. Kotlin is beautiful though. I have to agree. I tried to make a Kotlin app, and all I did was open their template. I've never used Kotlin before. I started with a blank template app that Android Studio gives you, and I was able to like write in all the code I needed for the logic without ever having to look up any references. Like just having the boilerplate code was like enough information to finish writing my code. Like that's how easy and intuitive Kotlin was to pick up. Spudley asks why I switch between Visual Studio and PyCharm. Typically, it just depends on the size of the project. That's really all it boils down to. Size of the project is probably the biggest factor. This is just a tiny, like, look, it's just 2 files. I just wanted a quick text editor. Okay, optional data currency. Okay, so these are all form values that we can put in. Got it. So this is all about the form, what we put on the form. Now let's see if it says anything about subscriptions here. Data panel label, the label of the payment button. Okay, so you can customize that. That's cool. Now, yeah, I guess all we have to do is provide all the right information in the form for it to create the billing info. Okay, close this, we can close that, we're done there. Close this, yeah, okay, so step 2, create a customer. So we do that totally on our own on the back end. We just say create a customer if we don't already have one. I guess first you'd probably call find, or you would look in your database records and say, hey, this user 42, do they have a Stripe account ID? No, I don't have a user associated with them. Okay, I need to go create one. And then you store their Stripe customer ID in your database. My thoughts on Atom or Vim as an IDE? Okay, my thoughts are like this. Atom is just like a lesser version of VS Code. I know it's got some different features, but it's about the equivalent to VS Code, so it's only good in my eyes for small and medium-sized projects. Vim is not suitable for any kind of... Vim is not suitable as an IDE. I don't care how many plugins you add to it, how much you customize it, it's not a good IDE. It's not gonna let you be as productive as a modern IDE. I've seen someone get fired one time they were fired for lack of productivity, and their editor of choice was Vim. I just say it, coincidence? Step 3. Okay, so we know how to create the user, and once we get back the user, then we've got the information we need. So yeah, this ID, the customer ID, we want to save that. But we don't want to create a customer every time. We don't want to create a customer every time they do something. So I bet there is a stripe.customer.search or find or load. I guess we would store the ID and we'd say load, or we would just attach that ID later. So when we say subscribe the customer to the plan, okay, yeah, all you have to have is the customer ID. So we wouldn't even have to make a call to find or look up or create after the first time. Spudley, are you a Vim person? I mean, I use Vim. I use Vim a lot. I use it all the time. It's my text editor of choice on the console. But make no mistake, I would not recommend it for like full-time large project development. Step 3, subscribe to the customer. Okay, so basically we just need to say which plan and the customer. So we don't need to know the plan information. Now what I'm wondering is, finally create the subscription. What I'm wondering is, when the customer creates their payment method and says, okay, pay now and subscribe, did they already associate a plan with that? So, hold on, I need to go back up where it had the checkout documentation. Checkout, okay. So, in the form, let's see if there's any field here for plan. No, there's no field for plan. Product. No, okay, so there's no field for product and there's no field for plan. I wonder if you even put the price when someone is subscribing. So do you just have to make the price match? Or do they just submit their payment information and then they subscribe, and then the billing, they do the billing themselves? They get an invoice. They just say, here's my payment info. And then when you do it, Stripe's gonna go, okay, now it's time to send them an invoice. Here's your invoice. Pay us $10 or whatever. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so create a customer. You can securely collect the customer's payment information via the form. Now, Elements again is basically just pre-built forms. Stripe Elements. I want to see like if they have a full list. Stripe.js. No, same ones. Okay. This code creates a customer and provides a source to be served as the stored payment method. And creates a source to serve as the stored payment method. I don't get it. Where does the source come from? Is the source the token? Oh, wait a second. So this is define. We're still in the define the plan creates. Create a customer. I thought that is the token, right? Stripe returns new customer? Yeah, okay. Okay, next you might want to create a subscription in more detail. Okay, I guess we can try this out now. So, Stripe subscription form. Let's see if we can find an example that's already got... Yeah, this is the official docs. Okay, so here we go. Building a subscription sign-up form. So create a subscription sign-up form using checkout and use Stripe API to complete the sign-up process. Check out other recipes here. Oh, I guess I totally missed this page. Payments/checkout. Okay. Checkout, the easiest payment flow available. Payment forms done right. Always improving. One-tap mobile payments. Should I use checkout? Stripe will always support building the whole payment form yourself if you want complete control over it. Okay. But checkout enables Stripe to do more with you. With checkout, we're constantly collecting data and running tests. This version of checkout, okay, easy to implement. So, yeah, what they're calling checkout is just like their pre-built forms. Get started. So I thought maybe it would help me create the form, but I guess not. Okay. This is an example. Okay, Emma creates a plan in the dashboard, builds a sign-up form using checkout and some PHP code. Okay, I want to see creating the checkup form. Okay, so they're actually not providing like the form field for like the billing info and all that. So I guess, yeah, so on the form all they're doing is the amount. No information about the plan, no information about the subscription, no fields for billing information, for shipping information. The script tag handles the checkout configuration. The form doesn't have any elements that are visible to the customer, but it serves a crucial function for checkout. When checkout receives the token from Stripe, it appends two hidden fields, Stripe token and Stripe email. Okay. Checkout then submits the form to Emma's server. Let's look at what Emma needs to do after the form is submitted to complete the subscription sign-up. As mentioned above, checkout appends Stripe token and Stripe email to the sign-up form and submits it to your server. Emma uses those parameters to build a Stripe API call to create a subscription. Okay. So she creates a customer, yeah, using the token as the source. Okay. Then they create a subscription attached to the customer that was just created. And ideally, like, right here is where you would also store this customer's ID to your user ID in your database. And then you'd call it here, and that's where you would say the plan. Okay. And then that's it. So, interesting. I'm not sure at what step the user fills out their billing info and stuff. I guess they fill out just $20 or whatever, and then as long as that's enough for the subscription, I guess it's okay. Spudley says, I'm usually too lazy to move my mouse, which is why he likes Vim. Now, there's a video about JetBrains, and I think it's like called IntelliJ No Mouse. There was like a whole conference video. It was like an hour long, and how to use IntelliJ without a mouse, and it basically shows you how you can keybind literally every action in the editor, and how the default key bindings work, and how you can switch between all the things without having to use your mouse at all. So it's pretty awesome, to be honest. So you can totally use JetBrains IDEs without having to use your mouse. Win-win. Okay, so breaking the code down. Okay, it loads Stripe. They set the API key, yeah, good. Next, she makes a call to Stripe to create the customer. She includes the ID of the plan as well as the 2 parameters received. Now, I'm wondering, they don't really say explicitly, this is where you should save the customer ID and reuse it. So I'm wondering if it's actually the proper procedure to create a new user each time and let Stripe determine if it's the same user or not. I'm not sure there. Say it creates customer, saves customer payment information. Wait, hold on. Now she makes the call to Stripe to create the customer. She includes the ID of the plan as well as 2 parameters. By default, Stripe bills the customer immediately for their first week of the subscription. Okay. Next, Emma makes sure the first payment on the subscription succeeded by checking the subscription status. If it failed, it will be incomplete. Emma wants to make sure that even if something goes wrong, her customers have a good experience, so she wraps it and catches the exception. Okay, it's time for Emma to test her code. She copies her files to the web. Okay, test credit card numbers. I'm going to bookmark that one. We're going to need that. Testing a successful sign-up. Emma decides to first test a successful sign-up. She clicks the Sign Me Up button, enters her email address, and one of the test numbers. Nope, no billing info yet. No addresses or anything. She makes up a valid expiration date and CVC, clicks Pay, everything works, and she sees the thank you. She goes to her dashboard to confirm the subscription. After logging in, she confirms that her dashboard is in test mode. Okay, let's try this out. Let's just make a really quick Flask endpoint. I pretty much already did that. Yeah. So, I think I can just... pip install Flask. And I think the good thing here is that this will still work on my local host. This whole workflow should still work when I test locally. So now wait, I need to add this other boilerplate. Okay. Now I think I can just say Flask run test.py. No. Okay, what is it? Flask app. Flask app equals test.py, Flask run. No module named Stripe. What? Did I mess up the code here? Import Stripe. No module named Stripe. Not obvious. Oh, remove test.pyc. I bet that was it. No. Hold on a second. What? Is which Flask? I think... Yeah, let's do this. I think it's calling my global Flask. Now if I do python-n, that'll guarantee it uses my virtual environment Python. Okay, now it says route. It's not route, it is app.route. Okay, so I need app.route. There we go. Now we're cooking. And we might as well say Flask render HTML. Here we go. So let's make an index page, and we'll just say that's going to be the home route. We'll just call the function home, and then yeah, we want to render templates. I guess let's try they get uppercase Flask. Hold on a second. Flask. Okay. There we go. Not hello index. There's no variables. Alright, so now if we go check out I guess I need to restart it, and I'm gonna restart it in VS Code. Internal server error? I bet it wants a directory called templates. Yep, there we go. Okay, now in our form, let me delete this extra stuff I added. And we do have to set the amount. So let's call it $20 like they did. And I think I have to restart again. Yeah. Okay, so now pay with card. Okay, and now we see the $20 here. And our card number. Remember me. Interesting. We use Stripe to securely store your payment info for quick checkout on this site and others. Interesting. Very interesting. And it does say powered by Stripe down here. You get the nice modal. You can override the image and everything. Okay. So before I hit submit, I want to check out my backend code here. So basically we're doing charge create, but that's not what we want anymore, because we're not creating a charge. We're actually going to do the customer create and then the subscription plan tie. So where are we here? We need to find the billing section. Billing, okay, billing. Well, hold on, I have too many windows open now. Okay. I want to go, what do I need? I need, create a user, yeah. Billing, quick start, creating subscriptions. Wait. Here we go. Product create, we did that. Here's what I wanted to know. Not plan create, we did that too. Customer create. Boom. Boom, that's what I needed. Okay, so we're going to say create a customer using, I guess it should be the form email. So why don't we try and print out form? Oh, I guess I need to import request so that it knows how to autocomplete. Now I forget which element it is. There's a form, a data, a body. Well, before we do that, let's just see. We'll pretend we got it there, and the source is gonna be token, Flask form data. No, give me the official docs. Nope, that's not the official docs either. Okay, form. Okay, so there's no forms. Accessing request data, request object. Here we go. So I don't think it's data. I think it's called form. Okay, request. Jeez, Flask request form data. What is the element to get the form? This is actually another reason I really like PyCharm, because now watch, I'll do this. Charm dot, and it's gonna go ahead and load up PyCharm, and I bet I'll be able to figure this out with PyCharm. Flask request dot form. Yeah, dot form. Dot form. Yeah, that's all it is. Dot form. Okay. Okay. And PyCharm even recognized it as a Flask app and has it like ready to start for me up top. Okay, so it's request dot form. See? And it does help. Right there. Okay, so let's just try and run it and see. Now is it... I'm not sure if form is going to be a list or an object. I think it's going to be a list. And the email form is... name. Where's the name? Email. Is there no name attached to it? Let's see. Stripe. Checkout. No, I want the form. I want the form fields. I want that page where they had the list of every form field that you could possibly have in the form. Now, come on, where was it? There was the page that had all the form values by name. I guess we can just print it out. Let's just do that. We'll just print it out the first time and see. Okay, so go ahead and submit. It's going to hit Stripe and get the token, and then submit the token to our page. Okay, method is not allowed, so I think I need to also say methods equals post. We need to allow the post method here. And then we'll try it again, resend. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to restart it. We'll resend. The same token should be okay for several minutes, they said. Internal server error. Okay, that's good because we should have actually returned something. But here we go. Oh, that's right. It's called Stripe email. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put that as an example. Now we can say thanks. Okay, now the token should still be good for several minutes, like they said, so I can rerun this request back with my browser as long as I do it quickly. Oh yeah, so let's move the return down to the bottom. And so it's gonna be request.form Stripe email. And then this is gonna be the Stripe token. And then this, I actually want to replace that with the real token. Well, it's a test token, but it's not like a test token. Stripe email. Oh, no, this isn't what I want. I want the subscription create. Now, yeah, so they've got the Python one here. So what I want is this. Oh, that's right, I'm gonna need the customer ID when it comes back. And I'm not sure if that's gonna be a class with the .id or like a dictionary, but since this is the Python API, I'm guessing they're gonna give me an object. I can check on here, create, what do they return? Convert to Stripe object. Okay, I guess they are converting it to an actual object. Cool. Just confirming. And then, so the plan, actually, we're gonna figure out what plan it was. Oh, this one. We already created the plan. Billing, products. And then we want the specific plan. So the plan is down here. We'll go with the, and this is interesting. So on my form, I put $20, but this is going to be $10 for a year. So we'll see what happens. And this is our, we'll go ahead and link to that. Oh, wait. I'm in the wrong file. Go away, VS Code, you're no longer wanted. Oops. That's what I wanted. And I did want to keep this link. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and just pretty print our subscription, just to make sure it's working. And same thing with the customer. Okay, so this should create the customer and the subscription. We asked to charge the user for $20, but we're only going to charge them $10. So I think this will be okay. Maybe it will reject us and say, hey, the amount you charge the user doesn't match the first billing cycle for this plan. You did it wrong. Go away and try again. But we'll find out. Okay, so now let me try, do it again, and it says thanks. And the console. Oh, I guess I need to restart it since I added all the logic. And let me resend, and it's thanking, and it says thanks. Okay, it said thanks, and it gave us a bunch of info. Okay, so it looked like this totally worked. And this is going to be, okay, this was the form submission. This is the customer account, and it keeps going. But it says, okay, account balance 0, created then. Email this. Okay, and this is my customer ID. So what I want to see, and down here it should say, okay, now here's the subscription object that it did create, I'm assuming. And I guess, what did they say? You had to check the subscription status. And see here it says status active. That means it was successful. Okay. Now, the one thing I was curious about was, now, it created a customer for that email address. So, if I go back and I say, hey, it's me again, will it create a new user? Or will Stripe go, oh, I know this user, let me return you back the customer that I already know about associated with them. Boom. Okay, check. It's getting redirected to our page. It says thanks. Now let's check our log. Let's go down to the bottom. Status active, so I guess they have 2 subscriptions now. We'll have to check on that. Did it create them 2 subscriptions? Okay, now back up here is customer ID. Customer ID here. Now, does that match? It does. Okay, no, it didn't. It's different. The end of it is different. Okay, so it totally created a new user. Now, what I want to see here is, what if I just tell it, reuse it? I'm basically saying, hey, I saved this user's ID. Can I recharge them? Let's just see what happens. Same user. A working number. Pay. Check. Okay, now it's going to get redirected back to r/pay. It says thanks. Let's check our log. Okay, here's my token. Here's the user. Oh yeah, see, I actually had it create a user when I shouldn't have bothered doing that step since we're reusing the user. And so this... Wait a second. That's a different customer. That's a totally different customer ID now. Interesting. Okay, let me clear out the logs completely. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna skip this customer create. And we're gonna try and just say, hey, charge this user again. I'm guessing it should fail because the user didn't create a token for us. The user didn't create some kind of authorization for us to do that. So I expect this to fail. Oh, it's not Gmail. It's not DevDungeon at Gmail. My email is nanodano@devdungeon.com. Pay. Okay, so we didn't create a user. We skipped the whole user creation. We fed it an old... Yeah, there it is. Customer. I think I just forgot to restart since adding the change. Okay, so this did try and reuse the same customer. Let's see if it works. Quantity, 1 more subscription. Okay, now there's another unique subscription ID. Total. Okay, now it says total count. Plan. Status active. Okay, now let's go back to our dashboard. Did it actually create like 10 subscriptions? And are they all attached to that user? They should be attached to a bunch of different users. Yeah. So there's 4 unique customers, all with the same email address now, all with active auto billing. And if we look at them, it says next invoice is today. So the next invoice is going out right now. And I guess since they authorized the first $10 with your payment button, then I guess the first one went through, which is why it set the status to active. Upcoming invoice. Oh yeah, so here, they paid up front. It says paid. Paid $10 right at the sign up. Oh, no, it says the next, what was it? Upcoming invoice. This is a preview that will be done March 2020. Okay, so it charged them right up front for the $10. And then that gives them the whole year, so it set it to active immediately. And now they're not going to be due another bill for another year. And in the meantime, they're able to cancel or do whatever they want. And so if you want to cancel it, you have to cancel it. Like, you have to provide the user a way to cancel the subscription from your site. And then you call the API endpoint, and you call subscription.cancel. So let's see here. Billing. Let's see if they have one on... canceling and pausing. So to cancel a subscription, you call subscription retrieve, and then the name of the sub. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to store that ID of the sub. Otherwise, I suppose you could just store the customer ID and then say, hey, Stripe, give me all of the subscriptions that this user has. And then you could get the subscription IDs from there. Otherwise, yeah, you want to store it yourself so that you can call it back and then call delete. By default, cancellation takes effect immediately. Once it's canceled, no further invoices are generated, and it goes to a canceled state. What you can set optionally is cancel at period end. And if you set that to true, basically it says let them finish the rest of their month, or let them finish the rest of their year. Ideally, that's the one that you would set to true, because generally if they paid upfront for the whole month or the whole year and they cancel, they expect to get the rest of that month or the year that they paid for before their stuff cancels. And what happens is, at the end of the period, when it officially ends, you get a webhook that says the subscription has now been deleted officially. Yeah, so cancellation events. Stripe sends customer a webhook of type customer.subscription.deleted when a customer subscription is canceled immediately. If customer subscription deleted request property is not null, that indicates the cancellation was made by your request as opposed to automatically based on your subscription settings. I see. So you can tell it to expire. You know, you can say, hey, this subscription is only supposed to last 6 months, and then drop it. You know, bill 1 month for 6 months and then stop. So using that, you can tell whether you canceled it via their request or it just kind of ran out. If you instead cancel a subscription at the end of a billing period, i.e. by setting cancel at end period to true, then a customer subscription updated event is what is sent out that reflects the change in the subscription, but you don't get the deleted until the end of the period. So you can use the deleted webhook to confidently say, okay, when I get this deleted, that's when I cut off access. That's when their subscription has officially ended. Reactivating canceled subscriptions. Okay, that looks pretty straightforward. Pausing. Stripe does not natively support pausing. You can, however, cancel and recreate it later. Okay. To keep the subscription effectively active but no longer billing, you can apply a 100% off coupon that lasts forever. Interesting. Later, remove the coupon when it's time to begin billing again. That's interesting. You can move the customer to a free plan and then resubscribe them to the paid plan later. Oh, these are options. You can use a trial period to change the billing cycle. Okay, so that's cool. They give you a few ideas on how you could could implement some kind of pause or temporary hold. Okay, so you can create coupons based off of percent off or a straight amount off, duration of once, forever, or repeating, the max number of redemptions, and an expiration date. Basic coupon stuff. Okay. So this... The checkout stuff is... The checkout stuff's a little different than I thought. Maybe I'll come back to that. But, okay, so we actually were able to successfully create a subscription. This user should now be billed. We were able to take direct payments. Oh, and look, we even got the subscription ones showing up in the payments now, because technically it's still just an invoice getting paid. Even though it's a recurring payment for a subscription. So we basically did everything I wanted to do. The webhooks, so let's look at the webhooks real quick. Now, where are the webhooks? Here we go. So there's a developer tab down here. Oh look, you can even see all your stats about API usage. That's cool. Okay, webhooks. Basically, you just add an endpoint. So you basically say like, hey, I want you to call devdungeon.com. We're going to call it Stripe webhooks. And you basically just create this one endpoint. And let me close this. You basically create, app.route / Stripe webhooks. Methods equals, I'm not sure if it's a get or a post, but we'll just handle both in case. And then we'd say def webhooks, doesn't really matter what you call this. And then we'd just say request.form, is it form data? And so then you tell it what you want. So you can have specific webhooks going to this endpoint and different webhooks going to a different endpoint. But I would probably just make one endpoint and just say send all events. And then my endpoint would basically do a switch statement and handle all of the cases as needed. Like, listen only for the ones I want to. Like, I definitely want to listen for the things like account updated, or there's some subscription ones. So like under subscription, hold on, we'll go to billing, subscriptions. No, I thought there was a... No, maybe it's under the documentation page. So if I go to billing, then at the bottom of each section, yeah, there's a webhook thing. And it tells you the whole list of webhooks. Okay, so this was kind of like a walkthrough. Here we go. Using webhooks with your subscriptions. And so basically common uses of webhooks with subscription: handling failure to pay, tracking when you have active and canceled ones, and catching subscription state changes. Now, where's the list of webhooks? Stripe webhook list. Webhooks. I want the list. Here we go. Here we go. So these are the subscription ones. Ones related to subscription. So these would be the webhooks that we'd probably be interested in. Stripe has an event associated with every activity that happens with subscription or invoice. The exact event sent depends on the type of subscription. A subscription paid automatically via credit, for example, has different events than a subscription paid manually by sending an invoice to a customer every billing cycle. Other options, such as creating subscriptions with trials, also affect the events sent. Check the events documentation for a comprehensive list of all events. Okay, that's why I wanted to see events, not webhook. That's what the term I should have been searching for is events. And so here's the big list of events. Here it is. So if we scroll down, let's look for subscriptions. Wait. Maybe it's called billing.subscription. Oh no. This is all one giant page, so it actually... Oh well. It tells us right here. So some events that are sent immediately when a subscription is created, while others recur on regular intervals. Creating a customer with a valid payment method and subscribing them to a plan with automatic payments causes Stripe to send the following events, though the exact order is not guaranteed. You're going to get a customer created event. That's cool. Technically, we don't really need to listen for that because if we're creating the user, we kind of know we just created the user, and so don't necessarily need to listen for that one. But it does let us know that it was successfully created, so that's useful. Customer subscription created event is sent indicating the subscription has been created. An invoice is drafted and then finalized prior to a charge attempt being made. Okay, so then the invoice created and invoice finalized events are sent. And then charge succeeded. Okay, so that's how we can also confirm that the charge went through. And invoice.payment succeeded is sent, indicating that the invoice was successfully marked paid. After this first invoice, the following cycle events, so yeah, that's basically the whole workflow we saw. So that all happened immediately. It paid the invoice, and it was done, and they're not getting another one for a year. When the subscription approaches its renewal date, an invoice.upcoming event is sent. That's really nice, because then you can trigger an email to go out to your users. When the subscription period elapses, an invoice created event is sent, indicating the creation of a draft invoice. About an hour after the invoice is created, it is finalized, and an invoice.finalized event is sent. A charge is attempted, and a charge.succeeded event is sent if the payment was successful. Then, an invoice.payment succeeded event is sent to indicate the invoice was marked paid. Okay, so those are all events that we would be interested in listening for the webhooks to update the state of the user and the state of their level, the level of their subscription, and what authorization they have. You might want to take specific actions in response to these, such as emailing customer when a payment fails, extending the length of time that a customer has to use your service, or terminating access when it's canceled. As subscription events primarily occur asynchronously and behind the scenes, your integration should listen to them via webhooks. And we looked at that. All you have to do to make a webhook is go into developers, webhooks, and then you just give it the URL where it's going to send the webhook, and it sends all that data just in a JSON blob. Okay, and the rest, these other ones are just examples and more details, like the workflow of the subscription. Now this is useful. So when you create the subscription, it's either going to say success, subscription created, status is active, so that's how we can check too. If it says status equals active, then we can be sure that it actually paid. Otherwise, the status is incomplete, then we can say, hey, something didn't go right. And then it expires. Okay. I like that flow diagram. Okay. Now, I have to say, we've already done the whole agenda. It's been an hour and a half. I don't know if any of you caught the stream last night where we looked at Braintree, but holy cow, this Stripe stuff is way better. It really is. People, we're not kidding. It's so much better. The documentation is better. The tooling is better. The API is cleaner. The Python library is better. Their examples work. Let's see. Spudley asks, any plans to make more bite-sized guides? The make a Discord bot with Python video was awesome. Yes, I do, but probably not for a while, because the streaming has been a good format for me, because it takes a lot of time to edit videos and like write up tutorials and finalize them, and so I know the quality is not as good because it takes 4 hours to go over a topic versus like just reading the tutorial yourself, but this is the format I'm probably going to go for a while. But also, a lot of the stuff I've been doing lately in my streams is learning completely new things. Like this Stripe stuff, this isn't like a quick tutorial showing you how to do it, it's me actually learning how to do it. But in an hour and a half, we basically figured out how to do all this. And I like the way they do it. It's cleaner, it's actually faster, it's less HTTP requests than Braintree. And overall, just a better experience from my end as a dev. So I did want to check out, let's see, like, do they have Angular Stripe elements? API libraries, okay. Community libraries, okay. So hold on, back up at the top they have, yeah, there's also many more third parties and plugins created by the community. Yeah, these are just the general libraries to access the API. And the Python one is super clean and easy. Yeah, and send all API requests to api.stripe.com. And so that's even the test ones. You just use an actual test API key and it understands, oh, that's a test one. Yes, Spudley, the Stripe documentation is polished. Like, I have to say it's got everything I need and more. It really did exceed my expectations, and you guys, if you were here yesterday, you saw the pain of trying to work with Braintree and like the holes in their documentation and the out-of-date code examples and stuff. But this was really nice. And the fact that the client implementation is completely separated from your server, like the user just sends back that token, which happens automatically on the form, that is so slick. It really, really is. So, I mean, we're done. Like, we're done for the night. I'm going to look through some more stuff a little bit, but the main goal, learning how to set up subscriptions, we're done. We figured it out. So that's really awesome. I have to say, I'm most likely going to use Stripe. I think the ease and everything of working with Stripe is worth losing out on the people who would only use your service if they had PayPal. But PayPal for single payments, very, very easy. I do recommend PayPal for that, but the subscriptions on PayPal and the testing them and stuff, it's just not very good. So I am curious to see what like this Angular Stripe looks like. Are there any screenshots? No. Well, you don't really need a third-party library because the form that they provided was simple enough. It's very simple. And they basically allow you to create your own form from scratch. All you have to do is drop in that JavaScript. So if we go back and look at the HTML file, yeah, like it's It's literally a form that we created that posts back to our page, and we can put anything we want in it, and we can decorate it any way we want. The only thing we need to do is add this little script. And then the rest of the magic just happens. It automatically hooks into the button click, or like it actually presents its own button, and then does all the magic, gets the token, and then submits back to that with the token. So it's like, they really couldn't make it any easier. I love it. What is my use case for receiving payments? Well, at the moment, not really anything in particular, but I would like to start making applications that can make money. And whether that means selling software one-off, like, hey, buy this piece of software for $10, or it's a subscription service where it's like, hey, you know, here's all my premium tutorials for $1 or whatever. I don't plan on charging for my tutorials or anything like that, but it would be nice to make some SaaS applications, software as a service. You know, I was thinking about making some kind of like penetration testing tools or bug bounty hunting tools that you can use. So like there's a website called Pen Test Tools. And I think the way this one works is you buy credits. Yeah, 40 free credits. You buy credits, and then like it costs a credit to do a subdomain search, and it costs a credit to do like a vulnerability scan, and a credit to do a port scan. So you just buy credits, and then you basically let them use your cloud tools to do stuff like that. So a service like this would be a perfect example. Or like on the Minecraft server, we have the Minecraft Dev Dungeon server, minecraft.devdungeon.com. You can have like a premium role. You can charge for VIP members on the server or something like that. You know what I might consider is like just a couple $1 a month VIP plan for Dev Dungeon, where like if you pay a couple bucks a month, you get a premium role in Discord, you get access to some custom bot commands, you get premium Minecraft, you get a shout out on the stream, and like, you know, just a bunch of random benefits. So maybe something like that. Pentest Monkey? Yeah, I've heard of Pentest Monkey. The only thing that I think of when I see Pentest Monkey, yeah, and you can see my links are purple, the reverse shell cheat sheet. That's like the first and only thing I really ever use this blog for. Is it's got a nice collection of quick one-line reverse shells. And if you watched my Drupal CVE video where we exploited the new Drupal vulnerability, we used a reverse shell, although it didn't actually come from this page because we used a Z shell reverse shell. But these are still a really good reference. But Pentest Monkey doesn't offer any services, do they? They only have articles, as far as I know. Oh, tools. I didn't even know they had a whole section of tools. Anyway, well, let's see. So, do I even need to create a GitHub repo and put this up? Like, it's literally so simple. It like doesn't even warrant me creating a GitHub repository and putting it up. And this would be customer.id. So when we clean it all up, it's really only a couple lines of code. And it's just 2 simple calls. And then your plan. You gotta sort out your plan details and stuff though, right? Like, do you store your plans locally? Do you look them up? All that good stuff. Okay, cool. Well, so yeah, we looked at some of those, but they're not really necessary because you get a lot of control. So this is what we got through today. And let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and do my plugs real quick. If you haven't already joined Discord, go to devdungeon.com and go on the right side. There's a big Join Me on Discord button. Come hang out, chat, ask questions, give me ideas on stream topics, buy my book, Security with Go. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can catch these awesome daily live streams. Lately, I've been on a binge, basically leaning towards SaaS web apps. So Django REST framework for a backend API, All-Auth for authentication and social auth, React and Angular and TypeScript and Electron and browser extensions, so all ways to make front ends to your API, and then looking at some payment options. So if you check out like the last week and a half, you're going to have a really solid collection of things to build a SaaS application or something like that. So hope you guys enjoy this stuff, and more topics coming soon. Always, I've got a huge list of topics, a lot of security stuff, a lot of all around stuff, but I think that's it. Also, you can check out github.com/devdungeon, and lots of code there, lots of code examples, usually from streams and projects. So let's see. Hey Pandals, man, I'm glad you joined again. Finished today so fast that almost feels like something is missing. I know. You know, you were here yesterday and you probably sensed my frustration with the Braintree stuff. And yeah, you can see how fast tonight went and how easy it was. So there's a clear winner in which has an easier to use API and documentation. So yeah, definitely. I definitely like Stripe and I give it some thumbs up. The only drawback is that you can't use PayPal. That's the biggest drawback, is that if someone only uses PayPal, they can't pay with Stripe. Or Venmo. Braintree lets you do PayPal and Venmo. So I'd really have to weigh the differences. Like if it's really, really, really worth it, then maybe struggling through the Braintree stuff and figuring it out would be worth it. But I noticed too many problems. Like just the fact that like their web UI had limitations. Like you could do something through the API, but on their web UI, they only gave you like a half-ass version of access to it. It's like, no, I'm sorry, this doesn't line up. It doesn't feel tight. It just feels sloppy, all over the place, sloppy. This little thing broken there, this missing a comma, their official example's broken, this out-of-date example, this lacking information. Oh, Apple Pay? So, yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I think Braintree supports Apple Pay. And I thought Braintree actually supported Bitcoin for a while. Yeah, so Braintree does offer Apple Pay. So let's see, Braintree payment options versus the Stripe payment options. They both offer credit card and bank account. Payments, Braintree payment methods. Yeah, so Braintree does... Oh, is it really only Visa? No. Why does it say just Visa instead of credit cards? Is that the only credit card you can use? That can't be so. Well, I suppose PayPal is where you would go if you want to use other... Oh yeah, credit cards. Visa, MasterCard, Maestro, Discover, American Express. Okay. Yeah, that kind of be concerned for a second. Yeah, and you got GPay, Apple Pay, Visa Checkout, MasterPass, so it doesn't look like Stripe has any advantage there. Where were the payment options? well. Oh, and look, it even supports some local stuff. Okay. Stripe payment methods. Payment methods, here we go. Works with Stripe payment methods. Amex, Visa checkout, MasterPass. Okay. Now, hold on. I think this is going to be... Yeah, this is way too big of a list. This is like WordPress plugins and stuff. I want to see the payment methods. Payment methods, Stripe payment methods. Here we go. Oh, this is the official Stripe page. Let's see here. So this is some statistics, I guess, on how ways people pay. I'll look at that. 15% PayPal. Now, what is this? Payment methods used, and oh, I guess that's just what people accept. No. It's interesting. I mean, maybe it's just on their homepage. Am I missing it? Why is this... It feels so hard to find, just like the payment options they take. Okay, it's probably under documentation. No. Accept. Oh, so you can do in-person payments. Oh, here we go. Payment options. Cards, wallets, local payment methods. Currencies. Okay. Okay. Cards. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, JCB, Diners Club, Union Pay. You can do refunds. Okay, that's good. Guaranteed settlement. Wallets. Alipay. Amex Checkout, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Microsoft Pay, MasterPass, Visa Checkout, WeChat Pay. Local payment methods. ACH credit, that's bank accounts. Or ACH debit, I guess, is debit bank accounts. Checking accounts. Alipay, band contactee. I don't even know some of these. These are local ones. P24s, yeah. So, whatever. If people want to use those and they're in whatever country or locality that uses those, they can. It looks like they accept just probably darn near every kind of currency. Lots of countries. Nice. Wow. Cool. So you can charge things internationally without a big deal, it looks like. Once Stripe is supported in your country, you'll be able to accept payments from customers anywhere in the world. Okay, so this doesn't just mean... I'm guessing this means, like, you can't just accept payments from people in these areas. Those are just the places where you are allowed to accept payments. So you could still get payment from people all over the place. Available for businesses in 32 countries. Accept payments from anywhere in the world. Stripe Atlas. No matter what country you're based in, you can use Atlas to easily incorporate a US company. Oh, I was looking at this. Yeah, so this is a tool no matter what country you're based in. So you could be in China and use Atlas to incorporate a US company, set up a US bank account, and start accepting payments. No matter what country you're in. That's really interesting. So, like, someone in Germany can just be like, hey, Atlas, please create me an American corporation. Thank you. And start taking money. I guess, you know, the American government's not going to care because they're like, hey, do you want to create a business here and accept money here and start paying us taxes? We're not going to complain that you want to start paying us tax money. And actually, they recently reduced the business taxes in America. So the price, the amount of money you have to pay on your taxes is less than it was before. $500 one-time fee. Interesting. That's not that much. Like, if you go to LegalZoom, maybe a little cheaper, maybe half that on the low side, but about the same price. So, heck, I bet they go through LegalZoom. I bet they go through LegalZoom and tack on like $100 for their service. Okay. Well, that's really cool. For the people that live out in the United States, I guess, that they offer that service. Okay, and then yeah, for mobile web, we've got Apple Pay. Apple Pay on the web? Oh, interesting. Payment Request API, Google Pay. Okay. Yeah, I am interested in the out-of-the-box Android things they offer. They just offer you a widget, kind of like the drop-in form, just like present the user this form, and then expect everything you need to get sent back to your site in a post. Like, it really can't get any easier. Alright, well, I think that's about all I'm going to cover for tonight. So, I hope you guys learned something. I had fun. I enjoyed chatting with all you guys, and I appreciate all your tips and suggestions and everything. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.